Well, I guess you know what they say. Time flies when it's moving quickly because, I mean, well, that's what the word flying means in that phrase. It means or implies that time is moving much quicker than you perceived it to be. Shader update. Oh my god. The last time we took a look at the shader update, I mean, it was already baked up real good and chef's kiss worthy, but it's also been already 6 months since we last took a look at the shader update. Over the past 6 months, a lot of sweat, tears, and hard work has been dumped into the shader update. Today, in honor of the amazing year for deferred rendering, I think it's about time we take one final look at shaders and where it is right now. Alright, I'm gonna keep it tight. I don't know your sitch. You're an ant. Hey, how you doing? You're a professional sports player. Wow, that's sweet. No matter who you are, if you're standing, you want to take a seat right now because, oh my god, we've landed inside of the much improved brand new flower forest biome, the shader pack, moving over to the gigantic bay with a cherry blossom biome in the background, the sun ever so gently touching the tippy top of the cherry blossom trees, and slowly as it begins to reach its next destination, the upper limits of our world, the sky, it is beautiful. Look at the waves, look at the tone of the water, the shady fog in the distance, and the beautiful, the beaming sun, the shaders. Wow. Alright, so I want to throw it back. Poggy is lit. Huge shout out because thanks to Poggy, we've got an exclusive look at an upcoming Luminous Dreams update. The shader pack is a 100% free shader pack for Minecraft Bedrock Edition. It works inside of the latest preview update. Now, Poggy did let me know that there are currently some bugs inside of the shader pack, but oh my god, from looking around at the shader pack for a couple of hours, I haven't seen a single thing wrong. It's gorgeous and beautiful. And jumping down in-game, touching the grass and survival. Since we last checked out Luminous Dreams, everything just about has changed. I mean, water is a million times more beautiful. The sun skybox, the coloration of it has been adjusted. And the sun, I mean, look at that thing. It's new. It's tilted. Moving around inside of the new flower forest biome, I felt like this encapsulated the perfect vibe of shaders and just the promise of this update. Hopefully, please, maybe deferred rendering making just as much progress next year. I mean, look, I almost don't know what to say. I'm speechless. It's a rare feeling for me. When I run around inside of my world and land starts to rise up strongly in the background, I mean, this is a particular vibe that I think I love the most. Like, having the foreground here, which is really crisp and smooth, and then the background that kind of gets a little fogged out and just looks massive with this new freshly toned skybox. I mean, I love it. One thing to me that feels significantly different and much improved since we last took a look at Luminous Dreams is the shadows here. How the sun is slowly rising and the birch shadows, flower shadows, and of course my shadow. How they're all forming and looking in this small little clearing right here is so beautiful. And oh man, you're playing with shaders. You need to set your base up on like a ledge, a cliff, something. You need to set it up somewhere where you get like a good view, particularly of a time of day like say sunrise. I mean, this stuff is just so gorgeous and beautiful looking. I don't know how many times I can say it today. The amount of times I've reset the day cycle to sunrise across various different worlds just to take a look at it and look at things like water and the blue and the reflections that'll end up showing up inside of it. I mean, I can't even count it. It's way too numerous. Something about the sun just rising over the hill here, it genuinely just makes me happy. I love it. Go ahead and flip the perspective and you can see as the sun starts to rise here, shadows are actually beginning to form on anything that like, you know, is kind of like we're looking at the lens. You get it right with the shadows and how it would go, the tilt. And while you have the golden intensity that is blasted all the way across my face and body too, wow, it's beautiful. I'm speechless. Settings. The last time we took a look at Poggy's Luminous Dream Pack, to adjust to the settings, we headed back to the main menu, tapped on this little thing inside of Global Resources right here, and there was a gear. The gear is gone. It doesn't exist. And one of the greatest upgrades of all time, no longer do you have to leave your world to adjust any of the settings. Instead, it's all done right here. Pause the game, tap settings, and right inside of settings, second to top box down here in general, Luminous Dreams options. Oh my god, we have a whole like section for Luminous Dreams. So up here at the top, we have our deferred rendering distance. We can go ahead and adjust that if we want. Then we have the different graphic options. This is kind of like a little shortcut, if you will. Then we've got even more deferred graphics options. Right here, adjusted brightness. For the best looks inside of Luminous Dreams, you'll probably have to do what I ended up having to do, which is lower the brightness down, like almost all the way. Now, aside from that, we've got a decent handful and a half of other technical settings, all of which I've gone ahead and cranked up all the way to the maximum. I also changed this thing. I don't know which one is better. Maybe you could help me out. The idea that there's a whole custom menu section for deferred rendering and luminous dreams right here is so beautiful. I love it. It's so quick and easy to access. Next up, over here in our local village with a little teaser of light sources. We'll take a look at those in a minute. The next thing that I wanted to check out here is water, because take a look at how good this water looks. When you get up close and personal with it, it's wet. It's glossy looking. We jump inside of the water under it. Wow, the blue haze, how it like sets in here now. It's so good looking. Third person, looking at the world's most handsome fish fishing around inside the water. Wow, it's so good. And speaking of fish, the salmon right there. Look at you. You look so happy with the deferred rendering. You're smiling. Look at it. I didn't even know salmon could smile. One of the best looking things with deferred rendering is always going to be the water. Like, hands down, it just looks so good. But I mean, for it to look this good, this tasty, so much progress has had to have happened. And in fact, I think that's just what went down. I'm pretty sure, like pretty much right after I dropped the last updated look at shaders, a gigantic water update happened and made the water look even better. Pretty much next day, after Mojang's big water update for deferred rendering, I think Poggy jumped in and went ahead and overhauled water inside of Luminous Dreams as well. And I mean, you can tell, it shows, it just looks so good. As we start to move around in the world and see the water get a little bit deeper, I love the tones that happen, especially when you get that sweet, sweet sand under the water. Like something about that light blue-green tone, it just feels extra cool and watery. I almost want to go to the beach, but it's snowing outside right now, and I don't know, I might go to the beach after the video. I might. Another thing that I just kind of love is how the lighting adjustments seem to happen from biome to biome. Here I'm inside of a beach, landed on the water here, and again, it just looks so good. Little challenge here, take a shot of apple juice for every time I say something looks so good, call it gorgeous or beautiful today. Good luck. Swagging things over to not only the savanna biome, of which I really love how the sky looks inside of this biome, but maybe the most beautiful ocean biome of all time, and a location inside of it, the coral reef over here. Take a look at how the warm ocean looks. Little bit of coral dotting in here, and okay, I'll admit it. This isn't the spiciest looking warm ocean that I could have found. Like, not very many pickles pickling, but I mean, it still looks pretty good, right? Almost looks like ruins are under the water. I swear, they used to have more sea pickles inside of these biomes, right? One final place that I thought it would be cool to take a look at real quick is this swamp biome. Taking a look at the swamp biome, that custom watercolor inside of it. I mean, I think it's different, maybe. It definitely looks like a whole lot more clear when you get up above it, but then again, that could just be because it's shallow. Maybe I've lost it. I might have gone crazy. Time of day. It's another thing that changes, well, pretty much everything inside of this pack. Now, all throughout the video so far, we started at sunrise, and I basically let the day cycle roll. At this point, we're almost to sunset. We'll go ahead and wait a little bit longer, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, it's romantic. Take a look at how the sun slowly fades down, gets more and more intense, and the water, the like reflection in it, it's also popping off and getting brighter and brighter and brighter. I love how the intensity kind of like increases as the sun gets slowly closer and closer to the water. This is one of the most beautiful looking things that I've ever seen, and I mean, it's so simple too. Like, there's not much going on here other than a sun going below the ocean and eventually revealing the kelp. Slowly, as the sun begins to go under the horizon here, the intense glow, I mean, it fades back away. And then nighttime inside of the swamp biome, it begins. And speaking of nighttime, the moon. Oh my god, look at how good this moon looks. Also, I mean, you see it right there. We're getting a little bit of a moon glow going on inside of the water, and specifically happening inside of the swamp biome where there are like tons and tons of trees right there. That's another most beautiful looking thing. Wow. Now, I feel like the moon doesn't usually get enough credit for, like, looking good inside of shader packs, but oh my gosh, Poggy's a moon right here. Like, just how that looks, and I love the angles of everything, too, but zooming in on it, it looks so vanilla Minecraft, but then, like, zooming out and just seeing how it interacts with the world, with the reflections and everything like that, it feels so unreal, too. Also, I always love a good Minecraft at nighttime, like how the stars look in the sky and how everything is, like, darkened and softened. It's just something about it always feels cozy to me, right? Hey, yo, speaking of nighttime, how about the new star of the show, the Pale Garden update? Well, for one, it's fully supported by this new Luminous Dreams update. For two, you move into the Pale Garden biome, and did it just get foggy? So check this out. As I back up and head back into the jungle, the fog kind of like goes away and you can see pretty far. But then again, as I move into the Pale Garden biome, the distance, the view, oh, it gets so much more dense and foggy. I mean, you can still see pretty far, but it's clearly much more foggy. Jumping down on the ground in the Pale Garden biome, this looks so good. It almost looks like some of the trailers of this biome or something with the smooth, glossy textures, the shadows, the lighting. I mean, it looks like I'm inside of one of the trailers, like I said, and I'm running around in here. This isn't the biggest Pale Garden, but it's kind of sizable. There's got to be a creeker, right? Oh, I heard it. I heard it. There's definitely one. Take a look at how the creaking looks. You, buddy, right here. Go ahead and hit it. You get the particle effect, whatever. That's normal. But you with the glowing eyes. Ooh, you're so eerie and weird, dude. Flipping over to survival so we get that full experience. The creaking, I mean, it's just so creepy. How it runs around with, like, the glowing eyes inside of this biome. And great, now I'm inside of a cave. Yeah. No, thank you. No, thank you. Take me home, please. Now, lighting, it's always a gigantic part of deferred rendering. The stuff that can be pulled off with some of this colored lighting inside of deferred rendering is absolutely amazing. Now, let's kick things off over here with our little lighting showcase with glowstone and sea lanterns. So the glowstone right here, you place this thing down, it's like a warm, gentle lighting. I like it. It's not too intense. Meanwhile, the sea lantern, polar opposite. Look at how bright and luminous this block is. It's intense. And by the way, this lighting, I mean, it does look similar inside of the daytime, but basically like a little bit less intense, and in a bright area, you can't see any of the cool lighting effects that happen. Frog light, I mean, the block is colored, and here you can see the lighting right here is colored as well. The green one, it's like the most soft and gentle one, but pretty bright still. Like, it is lighting up the blocks. Ochre, I mean, it's a little bit more intense, and then pearlescent right there, kind of like the brightest one out of all of them, with that purple lighting going on. Oh, the spider eye. Little spoiler right there, but yeah, some of the mobs have a little bit of cool lighting going on as well. I mean, we kind of just saw it when we were taking a look at the creaking update just now, but the spider specifically is one of my favorite other ones. How those eyes shine is really cool, but the zombie, bro, is that the man from the legend? Is that him? As I'm sure you would expect no less by this point, the lanterns, the blue soul lantern is actually a blue light. And meanwhile, the normal lantern, the orangey one, well, it's warm and orange. Now, torches are beautiful, but they get even more beautiful when you go ahead and mix them up with the soul torch, the redstone torch. But the cream of the crop, the pinnacle here when it comes to lighting is the candles. The lighting effects that have gone down when it comes to every single colored candle. I mean, since shaders have hit Bedrock Edition, we've taken a look at multiple looks of them. And throughout all the different looks that we've taken a look at deferred rendering, I feel like I always come back to the candles and take a look at how they look. And I can solidly say, at this point in time, the candles with the colored lighting, this is the best version of colored lighting. And take a look at how the shadows are being casted right here. This is so good looking. We have a candle right there. I think the cyan one. Go ahead and remove it. The shadow, it updates and goes away. We place it back, and a shadow will actually form on the source of like a block right there. You can almost make like shadow puppets or a light projector of some sort. It's pretty cool. Also, the shadow thing, it works with the player as well. Like, I mean, I'm a little too close here. If I could have the wall farther away or like get away from the light source, it would look even better. But you can tell it's my shadow right there. It looks so handsome. All in all, the different colored lighting right here, I mean, you got options on options. Doing the whole color rainbow right here, the yellow one really pops. The red one's pretty nice. The blue tones, I love them too. I'm always curious how different the lighting tones and like the gray family and brown are done and how they're done here. I mean, they're kind of just like a white light, basically. You can tell if you look closely, though, that the white candle is much brighter than, like, say, the gray tones right there. And for lighting, last but not least today, the copper bulb. I love how this thing gets illuminated. That looks so bright. Like, light is actually beaming out of the block. Meanwhile, the dim one, I mean, there's light there, right? But it's like, you can tell that it's clearly much less bright. How these different copper bulb lighting blocks are done right here is so nice. And I just love how intense the fully lit one is. Mobs and caves, the final spot I'd like to wrap up today's video. Check the creeper face right there. It's the iconic icon, but it's kind of glowing. Finding this inside of a dark cave, like popping out in the background, I mean, fear will be invoked in even the bravest of adventurers' hearts. Moving down to the ground here, we can see that different ores and blocks have a luminous texture as well. One of them that I particularly love is the lapis block. Look at how that tone looks, that blue. It's like a strong glow. The skulk, oh, don't even get me started. The skulk, it's beautiful. I feel like now I'm properly inside of some kind of weird alien landscape. Spawners, they're fire. I could take a look at blocks all day long. Matter of fact, if you'd like me to, a part 2, all you gotta do is let me know by tapping like down below. In fact, if you want it, in a part 2, we'll take a look at more cool blocks of different dimensions, ores, interesting biomes, cool structures like the ancient city, and more. Because genuinely, there is so much more that we can take a look at. Poggy's Luminous Dreams and the graphics update, where it's at right now, so much progress has been made, and I'm pretty obsessed with this stuff. It's looking so juicy. A huge shout out to Poggy for this early little look at the next Luminous Dreams update. Check out Luminous Dreams for yourself. All of the links that you need for Poggy, Luminous Dreams, and myself are down in the description below. It's been me, Waddles. Happy holidays, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much.